What up, guys? Time for another Adonis review. Today, I'm going to do Ghost of Tsushima. This game originally came out in July of 2020, I believe. I feel like this is a great game to do for 2023. I feel like it is a game that many probably still haven't played, but is a game that should be played, and I'm sure people come all the time and consider buying it. Honestly, I consider rebuying it all the time because I played it on a friend's account originally, and I always consider buying it myself because it's just such a beautiful, well-done game. But I hesitate because it's always so expensive; it never goes on sale. So I thought we would discuss it today. If you're still on the fence of if this game is worth, tossing that dough towards it, and let you know if it'll be worth it overall. Now, first off, I'll go over the positives. I guess I'll go over the main story of the game. Basically, you're like the nephew of the leader of Japan and a warrior, and it basically starts off with you fighting invaders like Mongols and shit, and they're always the enemies and Asian shit, and they just fucking dominate you like a dominatrix and spread you open and take everything they want. And then essentially the whole game is about you slowly meeting people and befriending unlikely fellows until you get an army and you're able to take back the land that is being taken from you. Now, I'll go over the positives first. The first most obvious positive I could ever say, and that anyone can say, is this is by far one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. Just stunning. Every area, every movement, every place you go in this giant, sprawling map is like a painting. It's like a painting made at every angle. You'll go to different areas, whether it's a snow area, a mountain area, a swamp area, I don't care what type of area it is, it's fucking stunning. They'll spread out different colored flowers, like right now you can see purple flowers and white flowers. It doesn't matter where you are, it's stunning as you can see on screen. Every blade of grass and light that reflects off of it, that just the most well done. There's so many games out there that don't utilize that technique. I'm the type of person that will always switch a game to the daytime, if there's a way to switch the clock so you can change what time it is, and I always move to daytime because if you're going to see a game that's beautiful 4K, 60 frames per second, why wouldn't you do it looking the best? Why do it at nighttime? Why play a game at nighttime where it looks shitty? Just shit. I hate games that utilize nighttime too much when you want to see the beauty and the graphics and the light reflecting off things. There's not too many games that look as beautiful as this game. The only thing that really comes to mind is maybe Horizon Forbidden Dawn and Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. But even, those games are masterpieces. But this game just does it in a different way. That's truly beautiful. Cyberpunk's also a really well done game, but that's done in the city, so the beauty's harder to see in that one. It's not really that many areas that look stunning, other than the fact that it's just a good looking game. So it's a beautiful game. Even I went to Assassin's Creed Valhalla after this game, and I was like, man, this looks like shit. And then I hadn't played it for so long, and I was like, oh, Assassin's Creed Valhalla actually does look really good. And then I went back to this, and I was like, oh, now I know why it looked like shit. This game looks so good. So that's the first thing. Game is beautiful. Definitely a marvel to the eyes to play. It's really nice. Second thing is the gameplay. Usually high fidelity games that have a lot of smoothness and beauty to it are sometimes choppy or hard to move. Like, for example, The Witcher, they call it the glitcher because it was so hard to run it that it kind of made it hard to play, and the gameplay overall was very smooth. But I feel like the fighting mechanics are well done completely, smooth to the point. You're able to change stances in it, and usually in games where they change the stances, it doesn't really mean that much other than just fighting in a different way. In this one, all the stances actually mean something. There's a point to it. You have to switch to a certain stance to break people's positions or to fight certain type of enemies. So you can literally be in one battle and switch your stance, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, just depending on who you're fighting. which is a really well done thing. But it's not overly complicated, which I feel like some games could be. It's very simple. You know who you're fighting. You know which stance you need to be in. Water, stone, what have you. It's just really well done how they've implemented it. The like grenades and the side mechanics of thrower rolls I don't really like, but it's not like it's a negative. It's just like obviously they had to throw something in, so whatever. Next, we go over into the story modes and missions. Now, overall, the missions are kind of clever. Basically, it breaks down to there being, these kind of like main characters that are going to help you. These kind of like legends, I would call them, people that have skill and they basically agree to help you take back your country, but you have to help them do their shit too. So basically, the whole game is helping them do their missions on the side, background, throughout the whole game, and eventually, by the very end, you'll earn their respect, and then they'll help you fight the main bad guy at the very end of it. So not too bad. I'd say, kind of going in, switching to the negative. The main negative in that is that this would be the way they broke down the story would be better done if it was a TV show that spans 12 episodes or something. Going into a game that's supposed to go 30 to 40 to 50 hours, the open world missions aren't that riveting. I'd say a lot of them, 99% of them are very repetitive and redundant, and that's the kind of the biggest negative. There's not a lot of diversity, and sometimes you can forget how clever a story could be or side missions can be when you play a great game like The Witcher, and they have really good storytelling. And this is kind of painful because there just really isn't. You just do 5 tasks over and over again in each area you kind of go to. That's the main negative. It's just really kind of repetitive gameplay. I mean, it still didn't bother me. It's not like the tasks are difficult or tough to do. But it is really just kind of like a checklist of, okay, now I'm in this area, I'll fucking do this, and this. Alright, this area has everything done in it now I'll move to the next area, and so forth and so on. They do have a kind of nice Legends thing, which you can kind of see on screen now, where you kind of have like a legendary item or weapon or person that you have to find, and you kind of get clues to, and then you have to follow flowers into a crazy nook in a mountain, and it leads you to this like legendary hero or weapon, which is pretty cool. It's probably one of the coolest things that you kind of see in the game. But that's kind of the main negatives, if anything I can see. Just repetitive, open world gameplay is kind of the worst part about it. But beyond that, graphically great. The general story is interesting, and it has you care for the character and wanting revenge and all that fun stuff. Gameplay mechanics are good. And then the final negative is that it's usually expensive. I haven't seen it go down in price. If this went down to $20 just one time in the past 2 years, probably would have just bought it just to play it again because it's so nice looking. But it never does. I think even on Black Friday, 2 years after it got released, it was still $40. So that is the toughest thing. You're going to have to swallow minimum $40 to probably buy this game. It's very hard. Right now, I believe it is free if you're like a PlayStation Plus member, whatever the fuck it's called. When you have the highest membership of online it would basically have the PlayStation Xbox Game Pass for PlayStation. So you can't play this for free. This is a PlayStation exclusive. Surprise, surprise. PlayStation having exclusive and Xbox not having exclusives. So you can only play this on PlayStation, I believe. So it's probably going to be $40. I think it is technically worth $40. I think it's a beautiful game and it is well done. I think it would be worth playing $40 to play it. I'd say the cheapest, I think fair value probably be $30. 40 is probably 40 is probably the maximum I'd really pay for it at this time. But finding it for $40 is probably the best you'll get. Like I said, if you can get it for $30, buy it. Great deal. Most likely not going to see it. It's very tough to find out that price. So either suck it up for $40 or side idea, pay $40 to get the best deal for PlayStation Plus, and then you can play this and Demon Souls and Stray and play everything for a month. And just, if you're able to crush games and a few hours and days. If it takes you months to play games, it won't be worth doing that. But if you if you're able to beat full games in a week, pay $40 to just increase your PlayStation membership for the month and fucking play this and some other games and call it a day. All right, guys, that's my review for Ghost of Tsushima. Later.